Oh.
She always schedules her appointments during lunch so she can get food out.
So she can what?
Get like lunch while she's gone. She's genuinely.
Oh, I
never
get what
had
you're saying.
A morning appointment or an afternoon appointment. It's always during lunchtime.
Oh. Okay, composition. So we kind of already did this on the first FRQ that we did. So hopefully this should be pretty easy, and you did it in Algebra 2 and Algebra 1. So remember, we always start with this composition of functions. So as long as you take it step by step, it does, like last hour they were like, it's so easy, but then it gets hard fast, and it does. So the notes are easy, but then the homework does challenge you a little bit more. So G of 5, you're just going to take 5 and put it into G. So 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And then you put your answer of negative 2 in for F. So you're always starting on the inside and working backwards. We were all worried about you. Glad you're here. Negative 2 squared is 4 minus 4 is 0. Sometimes I feel like they give you these because they want you to mess up. Because if you put negative 2 squared in your calculator, it would come out as negative 4 minus 4 would be negative 8. So just be careful. You know, like if I just did negative 2 squared like that, it's just going to give me negative 4. So I feel like you just have to be very careful. Remember, you're always starting on the inside. So F of 5 is 5 squared minus 4, which is 25 minus 4, which is 21. And then G of 21, because I take that answer and I plug it into G. 3 minus 21 is negative 18. So like you saw in the newest FRQ, another way that this can be written is F with a little 0 or O and G, like fog, kind of. Or if you look at number 1, they put the F circle G in parentheses. And then they put the X. Weird.
F times G.
So that's the thing. So I Googled it. Why did they change it from this to this? And they said because sometimes people got this confused with multiplication. And so this little O is the operation for a composition of functions. So it is like the mathematical operation. So like, you know, when you see a plus sign, you just automatically know plus. So hopefully when you see this little O sign, you know that it's a composition of functions.
Could it be around the other way too, like G-O-F?
Yes, totally. Yes.
But
Yeah,
you know-
right here, look,
you know
number
what?
5.
If it
Yep.
says of, like you're supposed to multiply, you take F of X.
Oh, yeah, this is not,
That's
nope,
not that.
nope, it's not that. Good question, that's a good one, yeah. Okay, because see, like you can kind of tell it's not, like in number 5, it's a totally separate, yeah. Okay, so these tables, so that was with equations. I feel like equations are the easiest, I think. The tables, so just go baby steps and start with G of O. Now, remember what spot this is in. This is in the X spot. So really, I'm focusing on the X values, right? So G of O, so I'm going to go up to, or not O, I'm going to go up to 0, and then I'm going to look at what answer I want, and I want the G answer, which is 3. And then I'm going to plug that into F. And so it's still in the same spot. It's still in this X spot. So then I'm going to go 3, and then I'm going to put down the F answer. So my composition of function would be 2. Sorry if my arrows are confusing. So start here, G of negative 2. So I'm going to go to negative 2, and I want the G, so that's negative 5. And then I'm going to plug that into f. So f of negative 5. So I'm going to go to negative 5, and I'm going to get the f answer, which is 3. And notice there's lots of answers to choose from, so you have to just be careful. Okay? So start here with f of 2. 2 is here, and the f is negative 3. And then g of negative 3, so I'm going to go to negative 3, is 7. So my composition is 7 is my answer. How are we doing? Good? Easy peasy?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the third way is to look at two graphs. The only thing that gets confusing is making sure that they are separate. So you can sometimes like color code them if you wanted to. If that helps you, just to know like this one's this one and this one's this one. Like that might help, I don't know. Okay, so g of 1, we're going to start there. G of 1. So I go to 1 on the x because remember this is still the x value. So I'm going to go to the x-axis and then I'm going to go to the g. So that is a negative 1. And then f of negative 1. So negative 1 and then I go up to f and that is at 3. And then f of negative 2. So I'm going to go to negative 2 and I'm going to go to the f line, which is 0. And then g of 0. So if I go to 0 and I look at where g is, that's also at 0. And then last but not least, f of 1. So I'm going to go to 1 and then I'm going to go to up to f is at 3. And then g of 3. So I go to 3 and then I go down to g, which is negative 1. So some kids were kind of struggling. I think they were fine with the front, but like on this, it gets a little bit tricky. But remember that these are all, I'm going to just show you real quick on number 13. You really want to focus on these x values. So they want you to fill in this whole table. So if you start here, okay, this is just going to be f of g of negative 3. So I'm just writing out this formula. So what's g of negative 3? So I go to negative 3 and I look at g. So that's 0. So then I need to know what f of 0 is. So I go to 0 and I look at the f and that's 3. So this h of x is 3. Does that kind of make sense? It gets a little bit, it's kind of similar. But just take it step by step. Like, look at what they're giving you. Fill in the x, find out what that is, and then take that chunk out, and then fill in the f, and then find out that is. Like, if you go, like, step by step, you should be okay. This one is kind of just an identity function. So do you remember that the additive identity is 0? So if I add 0 to anything, it's 0, or it's that number, sorry. And if I multiply, it's 1. So these functions, these composition of functions also have an identity. So what do you think it would be? If f of x equals x. So like f of 5 equals 5. What would this be? What do you think?
X.
No. So if you think about like if I'm going to add in another thing and I find out that answer, it's really just going to be whatever that is. Sorry. It's just going to be whatever that g of x is. Because x is f of x, if that makes sense. So g of x, it's whatever's in the parentheses. It's gonna equal what's in the parentheses, is kind of what that's saying,
Okay.
okay? Okie dokie? Okay, so you should be able to get this done in like probably 10, 15 minutes, and then I just want you to try 2 of the problems on AP Classroom, and they're under this one, competing function model variation. You can just pick any 2 you want and just see what they look like, because this is kind of the easy, remember, and then